Hey, what's up? My name's Rhett. I still don't like Magic, but I am liking Kill Team. So, recently I got to go to the Warhammer Kill Team Grand Open Fun Time here in Tampa, Florida. Lucky for me, it was only about 30 minutes away, or like an hour if they're doing a goddamn marathon at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. on a Saturday. Yeah, that was really annoying, Tampa. And not only that, but there's like certain roads that you just shouldn't close in Tampa, and those were the ones that were closing. So really hard to actually get to the convention center. And I mean, I live here. I've been to the convention center dozens of times, and wow, really good job, City of Tampa. I know it wasn't your fault, Warhammer organizers, but that made for a very stressful start to day one. Me and my teammate Boldar definitely did a lot of bickering and arguing like an old couple as we tried to find our way to the convention center. And luckily, we left like really early. We were planning on getting there about half an hour early, and I think we made it like with 5 or 10 minutes to spare. So, yeah, that was rough. But once we got there, the convention was awesome, man. The staff did an amazing job. It was all well organized. For those of you who don't know, there was everything there. There was Warhammer 40k, Age of Sigmar, Blood Bowl, and of course, Kill Team. We had about 50 players. I want to say a little bit less, like 48 or something like that. And it was a really diverse showing. Most of the teams I think were actually represented there. I don't think that there was any Chaos Cults, which is weird. But oh well, it's fine. I'm just fine with that. So anyway, it was a really great event. I ended up going 4 wins with two losses. My buddy Boldar went the opposite, 4 losses with 2 wins. We'll get into more of that in just a second here. But overall, it was really well organized. The only gripe or criticism that I would have in the future would be to please have either the objective markers set up on the board when we get there, or if you're not going to do that, just leave us with the normal boards that have the defined, centers of the board, like when you fold the maps over. They had these really cool mats down, which visually looked great. However, they only had like a middle marker on one part of the board. So, in an event where honestly time matters, especially like I play a 12-man team. I play Wormblade, by the way. Time matters. So when you have a game and it takes you maybe 10 or 15 minutes extra to set up a board, it can matter. So that would be cool. Again, if you don't set up the objective markers, because they do have a lot to do. These are 50 players. There's a lot of teams, a lot of tables, and a lot of terrain to set up. So I don't blame them for not setting up the markers, to be honest with you. But I would have been happy with just the normal boards and leave us to that. It would probably cut out in half the time. Also, we weren't told to bring objective markers, so on day one, I just had brought the regular, like crappy ones that come with the box. But I also have like fancier, like see-through ones at home. So I didn't bring those day one, and day two I'd learned my lesson about the nice ones. So that would have been nice to know that we needed those as well. So a little bit of miscommunication, but Kill Teams, if you think about it, still kind of new. So a lot of this organization is still being put together and being realized. So overall, I think it was a great job. And there's little tiny criticisms, but when it came to like the people that were working the event, like the judges and stuff, or anytime there was an issue, they were like so fast with taking care of things. People were there with the questions that you needed answers to, and a lot of the time it wasn't just like, yeah, that's it. It was generally like a quick answer of what the problem was, what the question was. And a lot of the times the judge would even like follow up with you, like maybe like 3 or 4 minutes down the line, he'd come back with like the book and show you like where the ruling was or something like that. And that was cool for me. Like we had an issue, I think with like how ropes work or something like that. And like I work in a casino. So if my boss tells me something cool, I take it, we go with it. So I tried to have the same attitude here. So, he told us how it worked. I was like, okay, cool. And it was already done with. But then he came back like 3 or 4 minutes and actually showed me like the errata or the frequently asked questions, or whatever you want to call it. And I appreciate that. It was a little bit more like solidified the ruling. So hats off. Really good job. Really good job. Where to start? So day one, we had 3 games each day, by the way. Day one started off again early in the morning. I want to say like the first game was like 9:30 or 10. All of it was outside with Octarius terrain, with different layouts. I got the quesadilla, like the triangle, like 90% of the time, which sometimes helps Wormblade. Wormblade is a team that likes to take advantage real quickly in the game, sit back and then jump back again, in my opinion. So there's some teams with Wormblade that I like that setup on. Not usually against Intercession, which was like half my games. So yeah, it was interesting, but it was really good. So first game, I went against Casterkin, which I never played against before, which is a really cool team. I don't think I'll be getting it for myself. You know, they can like change their roles and stuff with their points and whatnot. So cool, but not my flavor. But a good game. I did squeak that one out with a win. And most of these, all of these really, were really close, except for when I got stomped. That was not a close game. But all the other, like my wins, were like 18-19, 20-18. Very, very close games. So the first game versus Kaskin, very close game. Second game, oddly enough, was like my most sweaty game of the entire convention. This was versus Matt, and he was playing Intercession. And man, this was like, this was the neck and neck game. This is where every match, every roll mattered. And it was down to the last like 2 rolls as to who was going to win this game. And I think he ended up winning with 19 points versus me with 18 points. So special shout out to you, Matt. I didn't win that game, but I think that was the most fun. That was a really great game. And I wouldn't change it. It was so cool. And then third game, also against Intercession. And now at this point, I had won the first game, lost the second game, but I had just trained against Master Matt with Intercession. So I think just playing him really helped me walk into game 3 and get that win. I think if I hadn't played him in game 2, I would have lost that game. It was a really close game as well. And that ended day 1. I don't think Boldar got any wins on day 1. He was the brave one to bring Tomb World, by the way. So that wasn't, I mean, he really likes playing Tomb World. And he just kind of is comfortable with the team. That's why we both chose our teams. I have quite a few kill teams now. I play a good amount of them. I'd say that I'm probably best with Harlequins because they're Harlequins and they're fucking cheap as shit. But I didn't bring them because my rats are cooler and Wormblade's more fun. So he brought Tomb World, although he's really good with Intercession, because he wanted to get a win with Tomb World, which a lot of people don't, and B, it is pretty funny. So he didn't get a win day 1, but he had some tough matchups. I know that he went against Harlequins first up, which is like the worst for Tomb World. They just can't. And I think he got a couple games against Intercession that were also really close losses for him. And that was the end of day 1. I was lucky enough on day 1 to get nominated for Best Painted. So thank you again for that. Again, my Wormblade are little rats, so it's a fun conversion. They were my 9-inch tails. That's my team name, as I would call them. So that was really cool. There were also some other great paint jobs. Just like a certain shout out, like Ben, I'll just say right now, ended up winning with his Legionnaires. He's from Warpfire Minis and GFN Gaming on YouTube. Great guy, really cool. Nice to meet you, by the way, Ben. Very active in the community and just a damn good painter, man. He had some really cool Legionnaires and definitely deserved the W. But also a shout out to Justin, who also had some really well painted orcs. And I think it was Mike from Warpfire as well, who had like these really cool like grot Harlequin conversions. So and everybody else as well. Everybody had awesome minis, but those in particular like stick out in my mind still. So very cool, guys. Very cool. So that was day 1. I was starting to feel like a little bit under the weather, so I pretty much just went home and crashed. Plus, like I'm not used to waking up that early, man. I work in the entertainment industry in the casino, and I don't know where. I'm not gonna say. But I don't wake up early. So for me to be at these places at like 9 a.m. kicked my ass because I had to wake up. You know, even though I'm close, I still have to wake up like 7 a.m. I'm complaining. We can do it later, guys. Let's do it. Let's do a noon to 8. Right? I think noon to 8 would be fine. Maybe. Anyway, so I went home and crashed day 1. Day 2, do the whole deal, get back out there. No issues with parking this time, no marathon. Got right in and started playing games. This is where I got my booty slapped by Mr. Martinez playing Commandos. So it was just a matter of, I'm used to playing Wormblade where I get a lead and kind of hold on to it. And I couldn't do that versus Commandos. I didn't know that legally right now in tournaments, you can sneaky get 3 times. Yes, that's right. 3 times, because sneaky get does not say you can only do it once. Like, Wormblade has hiding, which is very similar to sneaky get, where you get to put 2 guys basically on reserves. But that says that it happens before game with a little notion of you can only do this once. Sneaky get says before game, so you're not doing it during a turning point, but does not say you can only do it once. So the limit on how many times you can use something is 1 per turning point. Therefore, because it happens before the turning point starts, you can sneaky get as many times as you want. You can do it 4 times with all your command points. You only chose to do 3, which was enough to put a sniper over here, a knob with the dynamite right in the middle towards the front, and the slasher boy on the other side. So I was terrified the whole game, and I was the knob was a step away from just blowing up my entire group. The sniper had a shot on like half my team almost. Couldn't really advance over there, and the slasher boy was just a tank. I was having so much trouble getting through him. So I ended up losing that game 20 to like 12 or something like that, 22 to 12. Who knows? It was still a great game. Martina, it was a... Sorry, I'm terrible with names. We're just going to say Mr. Martinez, because that's all I remember, because I had my principal in high school was Mr. Martinez, so as soon as I met you, I was like, Mr. Martinez. Although I think I'm like 10 or 15 years older than you. But you were a great opponent, man. It was a really fun game. It was really cool. I think it was his first time playing against Wormblade. So he picked up on everything really well. By the way, I wasn't an asshole. I told everybody that I played against, like, you know, they're like, you're all on conceal. And I'm like, so, by the way, Wormblade can change their orders on turn 1. And my sniper gets around, cover, or not cover. He gets around obscuring rules, sorry. So, I feel like you don't really want to get you someone with, like, things that'll really get you. And those are 2 things that'll really get people. So I let people know, just because we're there to have fun. We're not, why be a dick, you know? So, he stomped me. But it was a great game, and he was a really, really smart player. So hats off to him. I think he ended up coming up in within top 8, if I'm not mistaken. I ended up 11th, by the way. I didn't mention that yet, but we'll get back to it. Next game was versus Justin, who I already mentioned had badass orc commandos. They were so well painted. So I went from commandos into commandos, and again it was just like the day before where I had played Matt as intercession and then went into intercession again. So I had gone orcs, got my ass handed to me, and then the next game really had a better game plan going in, and I squeaked out that win as well. It was like 17-18 or something like that, who knows. But again, really great opponent. He was a fun guy to play against. We ended up with this like really stupid thing at one point where like it was like a cluster of like 5 dudes all stuck together. Like I was trying to block a door, and then like he came around and like charged a guy, and then like I came around and charged a guy, and then they were all able to be shot at by sniper if anybody moved. So then like he charged another guy. So we had like literally like 5 or 6 units just clumped in this one area for at least like 2 rounds or 2 turning points in the game. So it was just goofy, and that was another very close game. I don't know if that helped him or hurt him, but it was just a what the fuck is going on type of deal. But it was fun. It was cool. So shout out to you, Justin. You're good peoples, man. I got to talk to you a little bit about painting because you're really, really good. Nice to play against you, man. You're cool. Last but not least, I went against Alex with his intercession, and he's a great player. I'll just say that right off the break. He seemed maybe to have like the most experience out of everybody that I played against, he seemed to really just like know his stuff and really knew the team inside and out. Was very, very good with sightlines. So that was another cool thing. And that him and I had already, you know, gotten a few wins, gotten a few losses. We knew we weren't going to Atlanta or anything special. So we kind of had this more like casual game. I don't want to say that really, but just, you know, we were nice to each other. It was a good game. It was a cool dude. You know, there was no, you know, snarky comments, no anything. It was really cool. Like, you know, hey, can I move here? Can you see me from there? Yeah, cool, awesome. We got done quickly. And again, this was another like very close game. I won this one like 20-18 or something like that. But I think a lot of it came down to dice rolls in some areas. Like my Kellermorph at one point just moved over and just fucking annihilated his grenade guy. And I mean, it got like all sixes or some shit like that. And it was just one of those things where it's like, that was the only way that was going to happen. So if that didn't happen, I think he might have won. So, you know, and that's what makes a good game. You don't want to just go out there and like table somebody in turn two. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. It's kind of fun sometimes. But yeah, when you have like those really close games, it was pretty sweet, man. And that's pretty much how all my games were. I don't think that I really had a game where, well, aside from getting stomped by the orcs from Mr. Martinez, but even that game, like, we tallied the score at the end, and he's like, what? He's like, I thought it was neck and neck. I'm like, I kind of did too. But, like, I didn't really get any, like, secondaries that game, I don't think. And I think he denied me on, like, a lot of the primaries. So, yeah. It was, all the games, man, felt like we were all fighting tooth and nail. That's how you do it, man. So really great game. You know, when I played Magic, you would get into like, honestly, arguments with people when it came to like how rules and spells and stuff work. And a lot of the time, like the judges didn't have a good reason for like why something happened. And I like found out several times that judges at Magic events have been wrong. You know, it happens. But here, you know, the rules for Kill Team, I think are intact enough and simple enough that a lot of the judges can make a good call very easily. So I think it's a well done game. I think that's what it comes down to. And I think we have the right people working on it and working for it. So hats off to everybody at the convention, both the organizers and the players. Let's keep this player base awesome, man. Everybody was really cool. You know, nobody was like fighting and yelling with each other. Everybody was really nice, man. I didn't meet anybody that was mean. I talked to a lot of people, by the way. It wasn't just like playing against the people, like, you know, talking to people I played against, just walking around casually, making friends. So, yeah, I will definitely be going to the next show. Definitely going to keep up on Kill Team. I love my little rat men, but maybe we'll try something new next year. Who knows? So, anyway, stick by. I'm going to do some more videos. I'm going to maybe do some walkthroughs on how to play some of these teams. Maybe where to start with Kill Team, because right now we're at the end of 2023. We have a new season coming up. So should you start with the new stuff, Salvation? Should you try to get your hands on one of the old boxes like Octarius, which good luck. You jump into the Dark, which what's going to happen with Into the Dark now? Don't see as much as that on the team. But anyway, I appreciate you taking the time. If you were at the convention, again, hello. And hope to see you next time. Peace. I just realized real quick, come back. I forgot to mention what happened with Boldar. So Boldar, with Toon World, went 2 wins, 4 losses, which props off to him for bringing Toon World. It's a tough team, you know, it's not considered a very good team. The man brought it because he likes playing the team. He has fun with the team. And, you know, for the lulz, let's see if we can get a win or two, right? So he did end up getting 2 wins. Now, one of them was a drop, so he just got an instant W. So, however, the second one was a real win, which he got a versus Intercession. But he entered it into the app wrong. So it was counted as a loss. So technically, he only got 1 win on the record, but he actually did get 2 wins. So shout out to Mr. Boldar. You did it. You got a real win at the convention. It doesn't matter if it's on a website or not. I know it happened. You know it happened. So good job, bro. So next year, he'll probably bring something real. Maybe he'll bring in Toon World again. Maybe he'll be extra pro, or the team will get super buffed. Who knows? But that's what happened this year. So anyway, wanted to add that in.